this is the ultimate glute guide video because I'm literally going to be sharing with you guys everything that I learned in the last 9 years on how to build your glutes. And I know these things work because not only have I been able to get amazing results, but I also have been able to help a lot of women over the last few years get the same results as well. So clearly it works. So if your goal is to get bigger, rounder glutes, then make sure you keep watching, but also subscribe because I do post a lot of glute building content. So subscribe and keep watching. You need to do 3 things in order for you to build your glutes. And the last thing that we're gonna talk about, you guys are gonna need to do, because if you don't do this, everything else is just irrelevant and you will not get the results. So make sure you guys watch the video all the way to the end. So the first thing is your workouts, right? You wanna be making sure that you have 2 to 3 leg days a week. And personally, I always say this on my channel, you wanna have 3 leg days for optimal, fastest results. That's what I've seen work for myself as well as for a lot of my clients. But if you can only do 2 leg days a week, that's perfectly fine as well. Now, what exercises you should be doing each leg day is super important because you want to make sure that you're doing the highest glute activated exercises. And you also want to be making sure that you're targeting all 3 glute muscles, because a common mistake that I see is that people love to target the gluteus maximus, which is the lower part of the glutes, and they neglect the upper glutes, which is the medius and minimus, and then they wonder why like their glutes don't poke up from the side and have that like nice bookshelf look. It's because you're neglecting that muscle. So let's break down how many exercises you should be doing every single leg day, the reps, the sets, and what exercises you should be doing. As I mentioned, you have 3 muscles: gluteus medius, minimus, which is the upper glute portion, and then you have the gluteus maximus, which is the bigger portion of the glutes, and it takes up the middle all the way to the lower part of the glutes. So exercises that will target the gluteus maximus, which is the most effective, and you should have these exercises in rotation, are hip thrusts, all variations, squats, and typically with squats, you want to do more glute focused squats. So those are like your back squats. You can do the V squats, but you have to turn around. So instead of your back against the machine, you actually want to be facing the machine. You also have sumo squats, which are really good, Bulgarian split squats as well. Then you have your RDLs. You have reverse lunges. Deficit reverse lunges will get you a bit more stretch with the gluteus maximus, and I recommend that more. You have step ups. You also have cable kickbacks, and you have back extensions. Now for your upper glute exercises, which are the gluteus medius and minimus muscles, you have fire hydrants, you have cable medius kickbacks, you have clamshells, which is one of my favorites, and you also have hip abductions, which is an exercise I do literally every single leg day, okay? There's so many different variations of hip abductions. You could do them with the seated hip abduction machine. You can do them with the cables. You can do it with a plate. You can do it with resistant bands, okay? But you want to make sure that you're incorporating at least 1 to 2 upper glute exercise every single leg day. I cannot stress this enough because I see so many girls neglect these muscles, and this is why you're not getting the results that you're looking for when it comes to building your glutes. And if you're at the gym and you completely forget everything I spoke about in this video of like what exercises work the lower glutes, what exercises work the upper glutes, all you have to remember is that when you're doing an exercise where your legs are actually moving laterally away from the center of your body, those are abduction movements. And so those movements will be working the upper glutes. So as long as you're incorporating one exercise in your leg days that moves your legs laterally away from your body, then you are going to be targeting the gluteus medius and minimus muscles, which is the upper glute muscles. Now the reps, sets, and the rest time for each exercise is super important, and this is what's really going to determine how much growth you're going to be getting. So if you want to build your glutes, which is also known as hypertrophy, building muscle, you should be aiming between 8 to 12 reps per exercise. And you also want to be aiming between 2 to 5 sets per exercise. Now, how many reps and sets you do really does depend on the exercise you're doing. So at the beginning of your workouts, you want to be doing your heaviest lifts where you're literally pushing yourself to failure, or at least close to failure. So you'll have like 1 more rep in you, 2 more reps in you, which is also known as reps in reserve, before you get to that point of failure where you literally cannot do another rep. This is what's really going to help build the muscle. So when you do exercises like your hip thrusts, your squats, your deadlifts that you're pushing yourself to failure to, you are going to be doing more sets, so on the higher set range, so 3, 4, 5 sets, and your reps are going to be on the lower end of the range. So it can be all the way down to even 5 reps, 6 reps, 7 reps, 8 reps, 10 reps if you can per set. Now for exercises that you do at the end of your workout, so these are your upper glute exercises, your hip abductions, clamshells, fire hydrants. Those exercises, you will be able to do more reps. So 12 is a good amount to do, but you probably can even go all the way up to 20. And the higher the reps you do, the less sets you have to do because the volume is going to balance out. So you can do 2 sets of 15, 2 sets of 20, or 2 sets as many reps as possible. That's very much an option as well. And if this still seems confusing, you're like, okay, but I don't know how to program it properly, I do have a complete workout program available right now on my app New Body. It's a winter glutes challenge. Everything is given to you, how many reps, sets, your weights, all of that, and you just gotta go to the gym, follow it through, and then leave. So if you want that, it's all linked down below for you. Now, the biggest mistake I see amongst a lot of girls are the 60 seconds rest time. If you are resting for 60 seconds and you are good to go into your next set of hip thrusts, RDLs, split squats, you were not lifting heavy enough, because you should need at least 1 minute and 30 seconds up to like 3 minutes of rest between sets. And once again, the rest time really also depends on what exercises, the sets, and the reps that you're doing. So if you're really pushing to a new PR, you're lifting as heavy as you possibly can with hip thrusts, and you're doing, let's say, 5 sets of 5 reps, you can take like 2 minutes, 2.5 minute rest times between sets. That is not too long of a rest time, because your body will really need that recovery time to go into the next set. So 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes, depending on what exercise you're doing. The heavier lifts that you're really pushing to failure, you can rest a little bit longer. And then the other exercises, usually like your cable kickbacks, your hip abductions, you can take more like 1.5 minutes rest time, because you're not pushing yourself to failure. Now, let's say you have the perfect workout plan, okay? You're doing legs 2-3 times a week. You're doing all the proper exercises, the proper reps, the proper sets. You need to make sure now that your nutrition aligns with your workouts. This is so key and important. Literally, I had a client of mine not listen to me when I told her about getting her protein intake up, She had to be hitting 130 to 140 grams of protein, and she barely was hitting 100 grams. And she was confused as to why her glutes weren't growing. And I'm like, girl, it's because you're not eating enough protein. And finally, after months of telling her to eat more protein, she started to eat more protein, and she got the results she was looking for. So you need to make sure that nutrition aligns with your workouts. So for the girls who want to double the size of the glutes, you want bigger glutes, you need to be in a caloric surplus. What that means, it means that you're actually consuming, so you're eating more calories than your body actually burns. So you should be having about 300 to 500 max more calories than your maintenance level, which basically means how much calories your body currently needs to remain at that current body weight. If you are, let's say, eating 2,000 calories for your maintenance level, you should be then eating 2,300 to 2,500 calories to be in that caloric surplus. Now, this doesn't mean just go ham and eat everything and anything, because that is where you're going to develop body fat all over, and you're not going to be really building the body, the curvier, shape that you're probably looking for, that a lot of women want. What you need to be making sure that you're increasing when you're in this caloric surplus is, of course, your protein. You want to make sure that you're eating 1 times your current body weight of protein every single day. So let's say, for example, you weigh 120 pounds, you should be eating 120 grams of protein a day. Now, as you continue to go on this journey and you start to build muscle and you get bigger, your weight's gonna go up, so your protein intake should go up as well. So you have to always make sure that you're increasing it over time as your weight increases over time. Now, I know a lot of you are probably doing a calculation and being like, girl, I can't eat 130, 140 grams of protein. Like, I barely get 100 grams in. Completely normal. A lot of people struggle to get even 100 grams of protein in a day. So what I recommend is look at your starting point. If you are consistently hitting 60 grams a day, then try to go up by 10 to 15 grams. So do 70 to 75. And once you can consistently get to 70, 75 grams a day, then go up another 10 to 15 grams. And you want to keep doing that until you get to your goal of your protein intake, okay? It's a lot easier to slowly make your way with baby steps than jumping from 70 grams of protein to like 120 grams of protein. A lot of you guys are gonna fail at doing that, so don't set yourself up for failure. You can also replace a lot of the things that you eat now with higher protein options. So for example, with meat, Stick to chicken breasts, stick to chicken thighs, stick to chicken drumsticks. Also try to pick the skinless options. You have ground turkey, you have extra lean ground beef, you have salmon, you have tilapia, you have tuna. For the girls who feel like you have milk every day, whether it's in your oatmeal, your cereal, your coffee, switch that out for a high protein milk. You have Fairlife, you have Enjoy if you're someone who likes vegan option for milk, so almond milk, oat milk. You also have Greek yogurt, which is a very good high protein snack to have. Literally one serving is like at least 15 grams of protein. And then of course you have your protein shakes, right? You can either buy protein powder and make your own protein shakes, or you can buy pre-made protein shakes. But you just want to make sure that more than half of your protein every single day doesn't come from supplement processed protein, which is protein bars, protein shake, protein powders. You want to get your protein mainly from whole foods, and then whatever you're not able to achieve at the end, supplement that with a supplement from the protein bar or a protein shake. Now for my girls who are on a weight loss journey, I'm gonna be so real and honest with you. You cannot double the size of your glutes while trying to lose weight. It just doesn't work out, because when you want to double the size of your glutes, as I mentioned, you have to be in a caloric surplus where you're eating more calories than your body is burning. But when you're on a weight loss journey, you're in a caloric deficit where you're actually eating less calories than your body is burning. So it's counterintuitive. It's just not going to work out. So what I recommend is still work out with your glute exercises. Still target your glutes, still work that muscle and build that muscle to whatever capacity you're able to build. And then once you achieve the body that you want to have in terms of the weight loss, you can then focus on building your glutes, doubling the size of your glutes and changing your nutrition for that goal. But you cannot do both at the same time, because it just doesn't work out that way. Now, the last thing, as I said, is the most important component. Like if you're not doing this, you're literally not going to get the results you're looking for. Even if you have the best workout routine, the best nutrition, eating all the protein, if you are not consistent, you will never see results. And I know this because I had to learn the hard way when I first started off my fitness journey. I was that girl who was inconsistent. Now go to the gym, now go to the gym, go to the gym, now go to the gym. Like I couldn't be consistent at the gym for more than 3 months. And it showed, because literally 12 months later, I had no results. I saw no big changes or differences in my body. And that's when I was like, okay, let's actually give this a solid try. Let's actually go all in. And when I started to go all in and I started to actually be consistent, going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, I only really saw like big changes and results, I'm not gonna lie, like 18 months later, like a year and a half, okay? And that's the reality of it, is that this takes a lot longer than a lot of you guys anticipate. I know you want these quick, fast fix, I want my body to be here by summer, it's January. Unfortunately, that's just not the reality. You have to be patient. And I know it's so much easier said than done, especially with social media. When you look online and you see girls' body transformation in like 3, 4, 6 months, and you're like, I don't look like that, and I've been working out longer than she has. Genetics plays a huge part. I know this firsthandly because one of my clients, not even one of my clients, so many of my clients I see get crazy glute gains in like 4-8 weeks. And I'm just like, you're so lucky. You are so lucky that your genetics work in your favor. And then I see other girls who really are putting in the work and they don't see those same changes and results until like month 10, month 12. All that to say is, don't compare yourself to other people. You should only be comparing yourself to yourself. And so this is why it's so important for you to track your progress, and not track your progress by just hopping on a scale. You want to track your progress with so many different measures. So the first thing I would recommend is taking pictures. Take pictures in a sports bra, in shorts, against a neutral wall or background, and do this every single month. Take girth measurements. Get a tape measure and measure the circumference of your legs, of your glutes, of your waist. You also want to track your strength at the gym. How much were you lifting in month 1 compared to month 3? How much are you hip thrusting now from month 2 to month 6? By tracking so many different forms of measurement, you're going to notice changes somewhere. You're going to either notice changes in the pictures, notice changes on the circumferences and the measurements that you take, or you're going to notice that, oh my God, now I'm lifting like 100 pounds more than I was lifting 2-3 months ago. And that in itself is showing you that you're making progress and that you're on the right track. Because I promise you, as long as you put the work in, the results will come. It might be slow, but it will come. So try to measure your progress in different ways, because those little wins honestly will boost your motivation to keep going, because it does get hard, it does get challenging, and that's why consistency is something that a lot of people struggle with, and they won't get the results because they're just not consistent. So lock in, be disciplined. If you told yourself that this is the year that I'm gonna have this body, then do it. I know it's like what, mid-January now. By the time you're watching this, I don't know, it may be even summer. Don't fall off. Stay on track to what you said you were gonna do, regardless of how long it takes, because the reality is, once you achieve the body that you want to have, you still got to do all this shit to keep it up. Like, you can't just be like, all right, I got it, I'm done. Like, no, you still have to keep going. So it doesn't make any sense to quit. Like, logically, just makes really no sense to quit, because you still have to do this either way, right? So to wrap everything up, put a nice little bow on it, make it all simplified for you guys. If you are trying to build your glutes, that is your goal. And I'm hoping at this point of the video, this is your goal, because why else would you have watched like over 10 minutes of me talking about building your glutes and that wasn't your goal? You want to have a proper workout routine. You want to have a proper high protein diet where you're getting 1 times your current body weight of protein in grams every single day. And you want to be consistent regardless of how you feel, regardless of how slow it is. You got to keep showing up through the commitment of your consistency. So I hope you guys found this video super informative. If you have any questions or any concerns or anything like that, definitely feel free to comment down below. Don't be shy, okay? I will respond back. I want to help you guys out as much as I can. If you are interested in signing up for my one-on-one online coaching, you want me to personally help you build your glutes, then as I mentioned, I think I mentioned, probably not, but I'm mentioning it now. You can sign up for my one-on-one online coaching. I'll link down below in the description box. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.